It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
Hey, because of the whole Ditty thing, can we not have white parties anymore? Are they too closely associated with Ditty? We had a caller on the line this morning by the name of Janish, and he wants to have one of these white parties, but his wife is like, no, we can't do this. Is that really a thing? We'll find out a little bit later on in the podcast. Here we go. Time for what we call OPP, Other People's Problems, Your Advice. Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Everybody. Once you become a parent, most of us, your only goal is that your kid lives a better life than you do. So you're really excited every time they get a bonus chance at something fun. And that's why we're excited to have Ashley on the show this morning. You want to break down to everybody what's going on here?
I just got the most amazing news from the principal. My fourth grade child they want to bump him up. It seems like he's excelling in all the different grades. I know he's very gifted and very intellectual. They want to move him up all the way to sixth grade. I'm very excited.
Wow.
I'm very excited that he is flourishing in class and making all this headway, but I'm also a little bit hesitant because he has all his best friends in fourth grade.
Yeah,
and
there it is.
We have sleepover parties and things like that. And so I don't know if that's going to be weird, if that's going to be a weird social stigma. I don't know if I bump him all the way up to sixth grade, do you think his friends will think that's weird? Is my child going to be really upset?
He's going to catch heat no matter what.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Even his best friend is going to give him some heat because kids that age are just dumb kids. I mean, except for yours, apparently.
Him. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and I would be worried about the older kids giving him crap, too. He's going to get it from every angle. So if he's mentally strong enough to handle this, which at his age might not be the case, I don't know if that's something that... What do you think about even just going up one grade,
Well, it's going to be the same. You're not with your friends anymore. One grade, 2 grade, 3 grades. It's not. It's going to be the exact same thing. I mean, I think the only way you do this is like if you genuinely believe he is absolutely that special, that he's going to change the world. Otherwise, I personally wouldn't do this. I wouldn't get my kid out of his social circle because that's going to be the most important thing to him for years. And if that gets weirded out, that's just... To me, it's odd.
I would wonder
I don't want him to be bored in class.
Yeah.
I don't want him to, if he's already passed the bar, I just don't want him to be bored in class.
I know. And he's passed the bar by 2 grades.
As somebody who was bored in class for many, many years, he could turn into this if you leave him in that.
Yeah.
And be happy, or he could get, ostracized.
What does he want to do?
Yeah.
Like, I would sit down, and this is a really serious conversation because the way he's going to be treated could really shape who he is. So we're going to open it up to our listeners and see what they have to say. Some things maybe pop up that you wouldn't even think about asking. Okay?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I would love any advice because if the chance is on the table, I mean, I want him to excel. But again, if you're saying that he's going to be made fun of, I wouldn't want him to miss out on his genuine friendships. Friends come and go, and it's really hard to hold on to them. So any advice anyone has, I would love that.
All right, let's go. Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Everybody. Other people's problems. So we talked to Ashley a couple of seconds ago.
Was it Lexi?
Ashley.
Oh, Ashley.
And she had basically told us that her son is getting the opportunity to get bumped up 2 grades. And so she's kind of struggling with, do I do it? Like, you see your child and you're like, oh my gosh, they're gifted. Let's get everything out of these kids that we can. And then, I think we brought up there's a social element to this, too, that she needs to be aware of.
One of her big worries is, is she going to get a large amount of crap? Either way, him parting from his friend group, it's going to get a little complicated. And I think even going up to 6th grade, the maturity levels between a 4th grader and a 6th grader are light years.
Big time.
I don't know. Is he ready to be exposed to some of the stuff that they talk about? I don't know.
Hey, Brittany, thoughts on this? If it was your kid, would you bump him up 2 grades?
So my thoughts on this is I guess I wouldn't bump them up just because in a lot of situations, the elementary schools go up to 5th grade. So going into 6th grade, he'd be in an entirely different school.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of it, would it be an option to talk to the school and ask if there was accelerated classes that he could take or partake in versus being bumped up so that he wasn't losing out on his friend group, but he was also gaining the knowledge of accelerated classes?
Yeah, her biggest worry is that he's going to sit there with idle time, and then what do? You get into trouble or you get bored, and now you're sending your child to school to just sit there when they should be being challenged, which is what the school wants to do. They should have a program set up, don't you think? Because there are a lot of very smart children out there that are in this situation.
I think the program is to bump them up.
I don't know if that's the answer. That's there's a lot of factors.
Hey, good thoughts on this, Brittany. I really appreciate your call. I'm going to grab Nadiana. It's Ryan, am I saying that right? It's Nadiana?
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. What are your thoughts on this?
Hey, so I was a kid that was gifted in a few classes, and there is some criticism that does come with it when you go to a different classroom or things like that. However, at the same time, I found friends that were also like me. And by doing that and being able to be challenged and not just bored with school, it made me actually enjoy and love school.
Oh.
And so it's where you definitely need to protect them and be careful, make sure you're checking in on their mental health a lot throughout it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if, like, from 4th to 6th grade, if there's not a lot of, like, there is friendships there, but at the same time, they have a lot more friendships that they will be creating.
And you said you met a lot of like-minded people, and he might be in class with his friends, but his friends might be holding him back and stunting him. And so you ended up finding a group that worked for you, and it helped you excel at the same time.
Yeah, in hindsight, are you glad that you were able to get, kind of into these accelerated classes and bumped up?
For sure. It was a lot of fun, and even then you make new friends, or you're able to hang out with your old friends yet. Plan days to hang out and get together. So it's still where you're able to maintain those friendships and still get what you need.
Gotcha. So that's a nod from Nadiana. I appreciate your call this morning. Have a great day. Good morning, Molly. How are you feeling?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Your thoughts on this? If this was your child, would you do it? Would you bump them up 2 grades?
It actually was my child, and I didn't know what to do either. The 1st grade teacher would put him in the back of the class with a really thick chapter book, and she said, unfortunately, we don't have the time for kids like him. She was being nice about it. So he tried school every year, so bumping him up a class, he would come home and say, they taught me the same bleep this year as last year. They're teaching the same stuff. So he remembered what he learned the year before.
So would you recommend this then?
I really don't know. We didn't do that. And our son ended up taking his own journey on, I filled him with what interests him most at home.
Yeah.
And school was school, but
he had other
what
interests.
he exceeded in at home is what I kind of focused on.
But I mean, looking back at a 1st grader, he wouldn't have been able to keep up with what 3rd graders know as far as maturity. You know what I mean? Like, there's such a huge difference.
I actually think he would, because his brother was 5 years older than him.
Okay.
So looking back, maybe that would have been a good idea.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Yeah, getting a lot of different thoughts. Thanks, Molly. I appreciate it. I want to, you know what? Let's go right into the school. Hi, Eli.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're great, man. So you're a senior in high school. What if somebody just said to you, when you were 9, hey, we're going to bump you up 2 grades. You want to do that?
So here's my thoughts on this. My school is a social circumstance where that kid is right now. He would still be in intermediate school, so he would still be able to see his friends.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't see his friends as often. And from what I know about social circles and stuff, moving him up a little bit is going to affect it, but not insanely a lot. So he'll still be able to see his friends and things, but as long as the teaching is, it's relatively the same. But also, you got to think about the years that he's going to be getting through school a lot faster.
Yeah.
You're skipping him through years. Who knows what's going to happen in the 2 years that you're stepping him up in? Those 2 years might be some of the best he's going to have.
Listen
and
to this guy.
Move him up.
I know. You have some levity, but let's say a 10th grader right now, you're a senior. You find out tomorrow a 10th grader is about to join the senior class. How are you guys treating that person? Like that, you're going to give them some crap,
Swirlies?
right?
I generally wouldn't.
But you know people that would.
Probably help him. I would say most people in this school would actually be probably helping him out more.
That's encouraging.
The teachers in high school, they know how to help with students, and they really help you out if they need it.
All right.
So if this kid gets bumped up, the teachers are going to understand that, and they're going to help him as much as possible. And if anybody's giving him any problems, from what I know, it'd be handled pretty quickly.
I'd love to hear
Eli
this.
knuckle sandwich.
Yeah, I'd love to hear this. Thanks, bro. Have a great morning. Good morning. I'm JJ. Kat's here too, and we know every good piece of gossip starts with "Grrr!" So we decided let's do a part of our show with this, where you get to spread a little gossip, something you've been holding in. It's going to feel a little bit better, but you got to start with "Grrr!"
And for the sake of defamation, let's leave out any names that it's about, but like, what's the scenario that's too hot to keep to yourself?
Monica, welcome to the show.
Girl,
There it is.
I have some gossip for you.
Let's go.
I'm stressed.
Okay.
I'm stressed. So my niece has been in college, and she told me, just me, that she's decided to drop out. She was going to be a lawyer, and she has not told her parents. I feel like I can't tell my sister.
Yeah.
Like that needs to be a conversation between them, and I'm just walking around with this information, trying not to let it slip, and wanting her to just tell them.
Yeah. And I think as someone like a confidant, that's a big responsibility. She trusts you and told you the truth. So now it's time to be her aunt and like guide her, do you think?
Yeah,
What
how
did
do you
tell
help her here?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're totally on point with the trust. Like, because if I tell them without her knowing, then there goes that trust. She's never going to tell me anything ever again. But she needs to have this conversation with them, so I need to somehow push her that way without pushing her too much, and maybe just say, like, you need to have this conversation. But
Is she done with school altogether, or does she just need a break, do you think?
maybe that's part of it, because I know she doesn't want to do law school anymore, but maybe that doesn't mean she doesn't want to go back at some point. But we haven't really fully got through that.
The thought I had was maybe you can, before this gets presented to her parents, maybe she can, kind of soften the blow by saying, listen, this wasn't the right path for me. I'm taking 6 months and I've already re-enrolled.
Yes.
And then that softens the blow, right? Because you hear so many students that are like, I'm going to take a gap year. They never go back. Or even straight out of high school. Well, I'm going to take a year to figure it out. And then they never go to school.
I think
it
will soften the blow if she has a plan. If anybody comes to you with a gripe, you want them to have a plan or something in line to execute. And if she goes to them with that, and you can help her with that, have a couple of coffee dates and get things in line, do you think that maybe it would go over better with your sister?
It's a good auntie thing.
It is a nice auntie thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, actually. Just because I don't have to start the conversation with, you need to tell them. I just can be like, what's your plan next?
Right.
I know you've made this choice, but what's next? And maybe be like, okay, now is a good time to tell them.
Girl, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So I got to talk about the fact that my oldest son probably wouldn't be Peyton. He would be Buster.
Okay.
If I had to go this route. And the route is naming your child after something that has to do with the last food you ate before you gave birth.
Okay.
So there's this couple, and they were pretty pregnant. They're like, hey, how about some Krispy Kreme? Well, a pregnant chick says no to some Krispy Kreme, right? So they go to the Krispy Kreme, and she goes into labor, and this thing is coming fast.
They got her that excited that her water broke?
Yeah.
Impressive.
So they named their kid Glaze.
He's going to get so much crap for that.
Now, they didn't think this through until he got to his teenage years. But
exactly.
Baby Glaze as well, mom as well. So I thought, all right, if you had to name Liam after something you ate right before you went into labor,
Yeah.
What would his name be right now?
Before woke moms come after me, it was a California roll, which is cooked imitation crab. All right. So I would say I'd have to call him Roll or Callie.
Callie would be all right.
Callie would be kind of fun.
My niece's name is Callie.
Yeah.
So
it would be Cali, a Callie roll.
now Buster, we would name Peyton that because my wife and I, we both hit the Dairy Queen almost every day.
Yeah.
And I was so sick of, I had so many blizzards over the course of the time that she was pregnant that I had switched over to peanut Buster parfaits.
Yeah.
So I thought Buster would be a go. Now, you have an Uncle Buster. I have a cousin Buster.
They're Arthurs, though.
Oh, they're
So
Arthurs.
Buster's never their real name.
Yeah,
It
guys, I
always
don't even
is a nickname, but they're both Arthurs. So my great uncle Buster was an Arthur, and then now my Uncle Buster is an Arthur.
Well, and I think a lot of these nicknames will come from, obviously, foods that you ate right before you had your baby. So I want you to hit us with a text real quick. If you were to name your baby after, like, the last food you had before you had your baby.
It was scrambled eggs. Their name is Scramble.
No, you'd have to go with...
Egg?
Yeah, Eggy.
All right.
It's Eggy Smith.
It's Eggy.
And then hit us with a text. I want to read through these because that last meal, and maybe you don't even remember what your last meal was before you went into labor, but would you name your baby something like Glaze? Glad to have Janice join the show. We saw your text. You want to tell everybody kind of what's up here?
So my question was, it's about Ditty and white parties, because I wanted to have a white party, and my wife was like, no way, dude, that's associated with Ditty. And I was like, not every white party means it's going to be a freak off.
Yeah.
Like, they got white parties in so many places that, like they got white parties in the Hamptons. Like, you think those people even know what a freak off is? They won't know.
I guarantee they do. I guarantee they do.
White parties have been around forever. It's just a nice theme. It's like everybody gets to look crisp and clean and just kind of chic it up. And it's your birthday. It's your theme. I think
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, is this a faux pas all of a sudden?
I don't think so. And I think by not doing this as a theme party, you're letting Ditty win. You can't let him win.
I think, sorry, we cut his phone call off there. I didn't try. I think you go ahead with this no matter what. And if anyone has a problem with it, then they just don't show up, right?
I agree. But who's throwing the party? Did you say his wife?
His wife, his girlfriend, whatever it was, yeah.
No. I don't know. I mean, there is a weird...
You wouldn't do it? You wouldn't have a white party?
Link to it. I don't like the link to it because it is a fun theme where you get all dressed up in all white, but it's what the birthday boy wants. I would say just do it.
You're what? I don't know, 45 days, 50 days away from your 40th birthday?
You're like obsessed.
And if we threw you a white party, you wouldn't go?
I wouldn't go because I wouldn't want a party for me for my birthday. I would just cringe if I walked into a room and there were a bunch of people there that Derek got together. I would not enjoy that, not one bit. I just wouldn't. I don't know.
What made you so antisocial?
I'm never
all of a
party
sudden?
ready. Am I ever party ready? The day my husband proposed, he said, "Hey, do you even want to run a comb through your hair?" I said, "No."
But you would know this is coming a long, long ways away. If we had this like April 10th, after you've had a chance to celebrate your birthday with your friends and everything like that and your family.
You just
and
have a random party?
Well, yeah, we just have a big birthday party for your 40th. And we decide to do a white party. You don't want this?
I do not like it. Sam, I am. It is not something I would appreciate.
I have two questions for you as you're listening. Number one, is a white party okay or is that a Ditty thing?
He's got to be ready, though, Janice. If you're going to throw a white party, you got to be ready for the freak off comments, but just let him roll off your back. Water off a duck's back. Have another shot.
I would have a ton of baby oil up in there. And,
that
just
would be the shot, the Janice shot of the night, the baby oil.
Is this faux pas? Can you still have a white party? Better yet, I'd love to hear from anyone else that's kind of sharing Kat's thoughts where you're like, I don't want a party for my birthday.
It is not.
I don't want people wishing me well and showing me how much they love me by celebrating
my
birth.
On the FB, on the gram, on Snapchat, you say happy birthday, girl. I love that. That's great. But not an in-person.
We just had a huge party for my birthday a few months ago, and it was
because
awesome.
You're self-absorbed, and it's all about
it was
you.
just good to see all my friends there and everybody bringing me things, and that was awesome. Hey, a lot of winning Tuesday morning during our live show at 7:05. You got a chance to put $50,000 in your checking account. And then at about 8:20, more tickets to see Lainey Wilson. That show, not till October at the Xcel Energy Center. Tickets aren't even on sale, but you can grab them before you can buy them Tuesday morning with the playoffs. Talked to a guy named Janice just a couple of minutes ago. And if you missed it, he's got a concern about Well, actually, I think it's his wife, fiance, has a concern about the party they might get.
So my question was, it's about Ditty and white parties, because I wanted to have a white party, and my wife was like, no way, dude, that's associated with Ditty. And I was like, not every white party means it's going to be a freak-off.
So if it's your 40th birthday party and somebody wants to throw you a white party, is that now off limits because Ditty's in the joint?
I know. Shame on us for letting him
win
that, because I love a good theme party, and I'd go to a white party. I think that'd be
But if we
fun.
threw you a party, you were not going to it.
I'm not going to my own party.
This is ridiculous. Morning, Madison. How are you?
Good.
Good. Can we still throw a white party, or is that faux pas now?
I feel like it depends on the person, definitely. If they're into extravagant things, but for people who just want to have a laid back day, it's definitely not the vibe.
Is it? We talked about it a while ago. Is it mean to say white trash party? Is that a mean?
I would
theme?
not. I don't think so. I think there has to be a theme, and anything can be taken the wrong way for sure.
But I can say it because I'm white, right?
Help me understand what a white trash party would all involve, Kat.
That would have the mac and cheese with hot dogs. That would be a dish.
Okay.
Everyone has to bring their own beer. What'd you just say?
Flannels, definitely, and cut off jeans.
Flannels, yep, absolutely. Even fake pregnant bellies. And then the tank top that says drinking for two.
Bad idea.
I saw it online.
All over the place. This is only getting worse.
Obviously not promoting drinking while you are pregnant, but that would be the fun. And then just have a Stanley with water in it, whatever. But
hey, Madison, while we got you on the line, are you like Kat where you don't want people to celebrate you? You wouldn't want a party like this?
Yeah, I would definitely not want a party. I'm also pregnant with my first child right now, and everyone wants to throw a baby shower, and I do not want one.
Why? Why? Why are you so afraid of people celebrating you and your baby? This is a joyous occasion. Why don't you want people to get together?
I think it'd be great if they came over and did house projects or
put them to work. Put them to work.
I really don't want to sit and make small talk about how uncomfortable I am and everyone's horror stories.
Okay, so if you think about it, it's 120 seconds or 120 minutes that you have to endure to get thousands of dollars and stuff. It's just one of those pep talks on the way there that you just have to give yourself. Just, I can get through it. I can get through it.
Yeah. I definitely thought about that, and that's what people are saying, but I told them, if we want to have something after the baby's born, when I can have a drink and not be, pounded by questions and concerns about what I'm going to be doing, then that's great. But I do not want pictures with my big belly. I don't really want to do any cleanup or planning.
How about those random guys that show up about half lit up and want to touch your belly?
Oh, I haven't really had anyone no one has ever asked to touch my belly yet, so that's been great, but...
How far along are you right now?
I'm 8 months.
I want you to think of, the grass might not always be greener for that after the baby party. They're going to want to know about the afterbirth. Did you poop? Did you tear? You know what I mean? There's going to be those questions. So do you want the intrusive, do you tinkle when you laugh? Yeah, those kind of questions.
So really what Kat's saying is you want to push this whole thing off until you're about a year from right now.
Yeah, maybe that's the plan. Who knows?
But then you don't get all the good diaper genie stuff.
I know. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, and I weigh pros and cons, and I would rather buy my own diaper genie than sit with a giant belly while everyone has a drink.
And that's your prerogative. You do not have to do anything you don't want to do. I hate when pregnant moms feel like they have to do certain things.
Hey, Madison, before we let you go, you're not one of these chicks that's keeping the baby's name secret until the baby comes out, are you?
No, sadly, I'm just one of those chicks that I don't want to plan my baby shower, but I haven't even planned my baby's name yet, so that's another thing.
You've had 8 months, Madison.
I know.
You got to be leaning towards at least one name, right? Do you know if you're having a boy or girl?
A boy, yeah.
She doesn't want to say it. She's one of those girls. She knows what it is. She just doesn't want to say it.
I think she knows.
No, we have 30 names.
Oh my God.
And then we made a list of ones that sounded cool, but none of them are that's the one.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yell like they're in trouble all over your house. Try them all and see which one sounds the best. If I wasn't over my ex by now, I should go seek therapy somewhere. But this is therapeutic for some people, and I love that zoos do this because It's another very creative way to raise funds for their animals. But now it's like a sequence of things that will happen in honor of your ex at Columbus, Ohio Zoo. So what you do is pay $20 and they're going to name a worm after your ex. And I'm sure if you start texting right now who that worm is, the one that leaves you laying there in bed wondering how you let that happen for so long. I'm sure that you could text us a name instantly.
What would your name be?
I think we know, Chris. Who else? Who else done me wrong? Nobody else really did me wrong. I was the doer, the wrong doer, I think. So I would be a worm this year. But what they'll do is name the worm and then they'll feed it to a sloth bear. So it's like, it's so satisfying. You see someone being named after a worm and then watch them go down the gullet of a sloth. So I think it's perfect. How about you?
It would probably have to be Amy. She was the one that
left you at dinner?
Yeah, she left me at dinner. Oof. We had just ordered drinks, and then she said she had to go to the bathroom, and then I didn't see her the rest of the night. She bounced.
I didn't realize how poor you were when you were younger, like in college.
Oh,
You're like,
God.
I had like 8 cents to my name, and then you decide to take this girl out, and you're like counting the pennies as she's ordering.
Well, the worst part was like I was gambling so much on pool.
Yeah.
Like, you have these highs and these lows, and one day you're loaded. You can't spend all your money. The next day you got nothing, and it's
what
just
a roller coaster.
It was mostly I'd play so much during the week that if I did have plans for the weekends, like nobody could ever rely on me, because even if it would be like we're gonna go to this party, it's $5 a cup. I was like, I don't have $5. Or I'd be like, I'll buy everybody's cup. Like it was feast or famine there for a hot 3 years.
Yeah.
And so when I'm like, I literally had $25 to my name, and I wanted to take this girl out for dinner. We ordered drinks, and she goes to the bathroom and just scoots.
God.
Like part of me was heartbroken because that sucks.
Yeah.
Then the other part is me like, I'm gonna still have $8 tonight. I'd be able to find a party. So Andrew had texted in sloth bear. What the hell is that? It's a sloth or a bear.
That you texted us, you could have Googled it, Andrew.
I didn't know there was such thing as a sloth bear either. And then Kat went off and started texting everybody back links to what a sloth bear is. So here's the deal. It doesn't eat meat, but it attacks more humans than any other bear.
See, vegetarians are always angry.
Lack of protein.
Yeah, they're always on edge. But this thing is ugly, and it looks like a black bear. It gets to like 5'6". But then it has the face of like an ugly sloth.
And it fights tigers and stuff like in India. Like it's Wild Kingdom over there, man.
Yeah. So
there's
there
your
you
sloth
go.
bear. Other things that other people you'd want to be naming worms after?
Yeah, Tracy had said, my worm's name is Eli. He still has yet to return my key.
Ooh.
That would freak me out. I would need to change my lock. You never know what's going to motivate someone to do something. And then if they have access to your house, I would not be able to sleep well at night. Sasha says, naming my worm Sam after my ex, who is now with my cousin Laura, who will be at our reunion this summer. Sasha, you got to look so fierce. It's insane. You have to get that booty going. You have to get a killer outfit and walk by him like Sam who? Like, I've never seen you before. How are you? Oh, you're dating my cousin Laura? Oh, that's great. Where'd you guys meet?
How small of a town is it where you can't find somebody who's not related to your ex? Stuff I would never.
I've never understood that. There are so many people out there. And I get that you can't help who you are attracted to or who you fall for.
But maybe put on the brakes if they're in the same bloodline.
Some people don't do the pros and cons list. They just go with their heart and with what's under the belt. And I'm like, why do you want that drama?
Tell me something good.
Kat, you do the honors first, will you? Just tell us something good that's going on in your life right now.
Mentioned it earlier, but Liam got his $20,000, I wish, 20,000 Shot Club shirt. And I know that my kid works his booty off and just like loves basketball. And he has a couple of friends that put in the effort as well. And his team is so fun to watch this year. So he got that, and it's just fun to see your kids succeed at what they love to do.
Tell me something good.
Hey, Mandy, tell us something good in your life, will you?
Well, I would just say that my kids are happy and healthy, and nobody's getting sick with all this stuff going around, so I'm thankful for that.
I like that, too. You know, that's normally the answer. It's like everybody is feeling good. What about any personal wins for you, Mandy?
I don't know. I don't have one at the moment. I like my job. I don't know if that's
there it is,
something,
right?
but-
Yeah, what's that like?
Yeah, but I like where I go to work every day, and it helps me to have the home that I have now, so...
I love my job too. They say, and I made this up actually a long time ago, if you love where you work, you won't work a day in your life.
Do you know Kat made that saying up?
Right.
Take it if you want it.
Yep.
All right,
I
man.
believe you did.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
As you're preparing for slumber, Kat, is there one particular show you like to watch?
There's one particular channel. So whatever is on at that time of night is going to do it for me because the Travel Channel always has their ghost shows. And Derek thinks it's so strange. Liam won't sit with me to watch it, whether it's like Kindred Spirits or Ghost Adventures, Portals to Hell. That's a good one. Expedition Bigfoot. I don't know why I love
Expedition Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Again, glad these guys are making a living.
Mm-hmm.
I am. But just give me one. Just give me one Bigfoot. I want one.
Oh, there are. There are sites.
Just give me one.
You can hear the noises.
You can't hear the noise. Those are
You can
squirrels.
see that they ate the donuts and the Slim Jims. I fall for all that stuff, and it's always like, oh, did you hear that? It was a disembodied voice. It's that of the 8-year-old girl that died here 300 years ago. See, it's just something about the night vision that's calming for me, too, and not a lot of thinking. So
the reason I bring it up is my wife and I will watch whatever. We used to watch like actual like dramas on TV, but when This Is Us, the television show, was really getting big, I found that every time I'd wake up, and I think it was on Thursdays, I'd wake up on a Friday morning and I'd feel so bad because in every episode of that show, either somebody's dying or somebody's getting a divorce or the relationships are falling apart. And I get that's the up and down, but it made me feel awful.
it had such a huge following. What was the appeal? Just that
It was a great storyline. Amazing. And it was like different times. So it was like it started when these babies were born, but then they're really, the real thing is they're like young men, young women, teenagers, stuff like that, going through all the trials and tribulations of life. And I was just like, it sucks. So I kind of reverted back to a couple things. But my wife right now, I'm finding out that like I'll say goodnight, we'll shut off the TV, and she'll roll over and on her phone, she'll watch reruns of Sex and the City.
That would be good for me, too. Like, I'd be able to do that. Not a complex storyline. It has, like, soothing music. I think I could do that one.
But for me, I feel best when I go to sleep watching The Office.
Yeah, but that wakes you up because you're laughing.
No.
So now you have that dopamine going through your brain.
I think I've seen them all so many times that it really doesn't wig me out anymore.
Okay.
But like that's absolutely my favorite show to watch while I'm trying to go to bed. Eric had commented, and this is his go-to every night before he goes to sleep.
See, my heart's already going.
Do you know what it is?
No.
Oh, it's King of the Hill.
Oh, my
like,
God.
You have to watch something dopey and kind of funny.
Yeah.
I think. Alex had texted in Forensic Files. Why y'all watching stuff that has death in it before you go into sleep?
But Forensic Files, once again, makes you think it's a whodunit. So therefore, you don't want your brain working overtime right before you go to bed.
And that's why I like The Office, because it's just goofy, dumb humor.
Yeah.
So my question to you this morning is, do you have a particular show that you like to wind down with?